Welcome to this week's Lights, Mics and Studios. A bit of a different vibe this week than what we usually have. As you'll see, I'm actually sitting in my car. I'm not in studio or in my office or any of the post-production studios that we use. And the reason for that is we are on the brink of perhaps going under lockdown in South Africa, out of fear for the coronavirus or the COVID-19 virus. And this, of course, is understandable. Now, what I want to talk about this week is something that's very, very important, and we tend to forget about it. Especially we as Christians, we tend to forget about this. We see the nation and we see what's happening, and then we are struck by fear, and we discussed that last week. Of course, the fact that the Lord did not give us a spirit of fear, but of love, peace and self-control. But something that I want to address this week is what we read in Romans 13. This does not pertain to sickness or illness or anything like that, or fear even. But it does pertain to something very, very important. Something that we do need to consider, especially in these days, especially in the COVID-19 days. And that says that all governments, all rulers are placed there by God. They are governing for Him, obviously, and their rulership are given to them by God. What does that mean? And why is Paul saying that? Paul is mentioning that to submit, to teach us as Christians that we should submit to our governing bodies. And the reason I'm saying this now, sharing this now, and the reason I'm saying that this is very important is because of the fact that we are all back talking and gossiping and saying nonsense about the South African president at that stage. Whether he's a good president or not, Paul did not write this. And Paul did not write that with regards to being a good president or not. Something that I want to share as well is the fact that when Paul wrote that down, he was under the rulership of King Nero. Now, if you don't know who Nero was, he was probably the most brutal king or Roman Empire at that stage. He obviously burned Christians alive. He actually smothered them in tar and set them in light and used them as his candles at his parties. And during these stages, Paul wrote the words, "Submit to all governing bodies, they are placed there by God." So if our governing body, if our democracy, if our government, parliament, whatever you want to call it, say that we should go under lockdown, or say that we should stop all mass gatherings, myself as Charlotte, I would plead with you, it's your Christian responsibility to do that, to go into lockdown, to distance yourself from other peoples, because your rulers, your government is asking you to do exactly that. And the fact of the matter is they're actually doing it for your own benefit. They're not doing it for their benefit. They are doing it for your benefit. And we actually see that. I saw now at the outside one of the big chain stores in the city that I live in, and they actually had to close the doors for the people that wants to come in, because they are so scared that this can be seen as a social gathering in actual fact, because there's so many people, so many consumers that want to buy all the products, because we are scared. We want to buy everything that's on special, and we want to buy it in mass, because we are scared that when we go in lockdown, there will be 2 weeks that all stores will be closing down. And those people, the ones that are making the decisions to close the doors, are also executing God's will just by understanding Scripture saying that they are placed there by God. So the thought I want to leave you with today is this. Submit to your governments. If they ask you to social distance, do social distancing. If they ask you to do a lockdown, whatever, do that. And do that all without mumbling and grumbling, as Paul says. From myself, Charlotte Toy, and my awesome car, looking forward to sharing a couple of minutes again with you next week.